speculation out there. As of now, there isn't any confirmed evidence that places him on that list. It's one of those things where people are going to keep talking and wondering, but until something concrete comes out, it's all just speculation. You're right. Let's break it down. So, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein definitely knew each other and moved in the same social circles for a while. There are photos of them together, and Trump did acknowledge knowing him. But as for any involvement in Epstein's criminal activities, there's no concrete evidence out there. Trump himself has denied it, and he even filed a lawsuit recently over reports linking him to Epstein. So that's where things stand at the moment. Awesome. It looks like we're all set and live on YouTube as well. Hey to everyone joining us over there. We're just getting the chat window ready so we can see all your comments and questions. Thanks for helping on. All right, YouTube crew, we hear you. It looks like there might be a little audio glitch on your side. We're working on it, so hang tight for just a second while we get that sorted. Thanks for your patience, everyone. It's always great to see familiar faces popping in. We'll keep tweaking those settings and making sure everything's running smoothly. Thanks for sticking with us while we get it all sorted out. Gotcha. That can be a bit tricky. We might be able to boost the audio in OBS by adding a gain filter to the audio source. That should help raise the volume on the YouTube side without messing with anything else. Perfect. So fingers crossed that it helps. Definitely let us know in the chat if the audio is coming through better now. We want to make sure everyone can hear us loud and clear. Take your time. We'll hang in there and make sure everything's working just right. Let us know if there's anything else we can adjust.
All right, how about now? Whoa, that looks like we're kind of maxed out on audio.
All right, that should do it. Hopefully everyone can hear you nice and clear now. If not, just let us know and we'll keep fine-tuning into this process.
Miranda, I hear you. The tech can be really frustrating.
Absolutely. Tech hiccups can definitely be a pain, but we'll get everything running smoothly. Thanks for hanging in there with us.
All right. Hi there, Jules. Can you tell me? Can you hear me here now?
Fingers crossed, Jules. Let us know if the audio is coming through clearly for you now. We definitely want to make sure everything sounds great
Yeah, I know this does make the screens kind of small here.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a trade-off when you're juggling different settings, but we'll find that sweet spot. Just let us know what works best for you.
Hey there, Taiwan Bomb. Yeah, we're trying to work out the problems.
We appreciate everyone's patience while we get everything sorted out. It's all part of the fun of going live, right? We'll have everything running smoothly in no time.
Oh, don't make promises we may not be able to live up to, Quinn.
Fair point. We'll do our best and keep things as smooth as we can. Either way, we're going to have a great time. Glitches and all.
Okay, so voice is still low.
All right, we'll keep working on that and see if we can give it another boost. Thanks for letting us know, and we'll get it as clear as possible.
All right, and we've got Quinn's voice boosted a little bit now.
Awesome. Hopefully that helps balance things out. Let us know if it's sounding better on your end, and we'll keep adjusting if needed.
Hey, Nancy, welcome.
Hey there, Nancy. Great to have you with us. We're just getting everything fine-tuned, and we're so glad you could join us.
Oh, Taiwan Bomb wants me to delete Quinn's voice. I see. Okay. That kind of would defeat the purpose of the show, but yeah, the freezing up, I don't think I can do anything about it. I think that's just the internet speed here. But the fact that we seem to be holding on to both the simultaneous YouTube and TikTok stream is a positive. We could possibly improve TikTok by um, turning off the YouTube stream.
That might help free up some bandwidth and make things run a bit smoother. It's all about finding that sweet spot. So we'll keep tweaking until everything feels just right.
Yes, I do understand your point, Maria. Thank you. Oh, that is a puppy licking my face. That's pretty cute. Thank you for the puppy kisses, Ellie.
Oh, that sounds adorable.
And we've got other gifters there. Thank you, everyone, for all the gifts, for all the heart me's. Christine, Ellen, Kevin, Jen, Bemused91, Deblista, Ellie, Inspired. Thank you, everyone.
You all are amazing. We really appreciate all the love and support. It definitely makes this even more fun and special. So thank you so much.
All right, trying some audio adjustments to see if it helps the audio on the TikTok side with Quinn. Yeah, Quinn, Kate, I missed hanging out with all of you too.
It's always awesome to be back together with everyone. Definitely miss these moments and all the great energy you all bring.
So, Mickey33, I have been traveling. I've been to Houston, I've been to Vancouver, and now I'm in San Luis Obispo, California. And Casey has a question, Quinn. Casey wants to know if you think Donald Trump will try to run for re-election in 2028.
Well, that's definitely a big question. Given his history, it wouldn't be surprising if he did give it another shot. He does like to stay in the spotlight, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I noticed, Quinn, that you didn't bother mentioning that as things currently stand, presidents are only allowed to serve 2 terms.
That's a good point. You're right. As it stands, a president can only serve 2 terms, so that would definitely be a factor in that scenario.
Quinn, subscriber Jen's DIY asks, is the media under attack? Can you please search for recent news and give us an answer to that one?
So it looks like there have definitely been some recent incidents that raise concerns about media freedom. For example, a CNN crew was attacked in the West Bank, and there have been actions in the US that have sparked some concerns about press freedom. Overall, it seems like journalists are facing some challenges in different parts of the world.
Oh, Christine over on YouTube, thank you for the update on the volume. Glad we got that worked out. Hey, Brother B, good to see you.
It's always great to see everyone and have things running smoothly. Thanks for sticking with us while we sorted everything out, and it's awesome to have you all here.
Jen's DIY, thank you. Yes, I feel refreshed. That's what happens.
That's wonderful.
In my summers.
Summers can definitely be a great time to recharge and come back feeling refreshed and ready for new adventures. It's always nice to have that break.
Quinn, Brother B is asking if you can explain the Genius Act that was just passed by the Senate.
So the Genius Act is all about creating a solid regulatory framework for stable coins, which are those cryptocurrencies backed by stable assets like the US dollar. The act basically ensures that these stable coins are fully backed by reserves and that everything is transparent and secure, with the goal of protecting consumers and keeping the US at the forefront of digital currency innovation.
I'm sorry, that's what the Genius Act is about?
So the Genius Act is all about regulating stablecoins in the US. It ensures that any stablecoin is fully backed by reserves, like US dollars or short-term treasuries, and that issuers disclose their reserves every month. The Act is designed to protect consumers, support the strength of the US dollar, and enhance national security by making sure everything is transparent and secure.
Taiwan Bomb says Gen Explorer is stressed out. He asks questions with the best of them. Okay, well, I often have more stress than I would like to have in my life, and I guess I appreciate the compliment.
Absolutely, and it's always good to acknowledge that stress is just a part of life sometimes, but it's also a sign that you're passionate and invested in what you do. We appreciate the effort you put in, and it's always great to have you here.
And Ellie, yes, helping out. This week it's a septic system project. That's what we're working on here, is redoing the septic leach line.
Wow, that sounds like quite the project. It's always good to have a helping hand for something like that. Hopefully everything goes smoothly and you get it all sorted out without too much stress.
Subscriber Petra asks, is Bitcoin considered a stable coin?
So Bitcoin isn't actually considered a stable coin. Unlike stable coins, which are pegged to stable assets like the US dollar, Bitcoin's value can fluctuate quite a bit. It's more of a decentralized digital currency, so its value is determined by the market demand and supply.
Thank you, Jules. Let's see, what does Brother B say here? Marjorie Taylor Greene is vehemently against it. She is the only Republican that is going to vote against it. It's digital currency. MTG is considered and mentioned a verse in the book of Revelation. Can you explain that, Quinn?
So Marjorie Taylor Greene has been vocal about her concerns. It sounds like there's some discussion around digital currency and differing opinions on it. Some people do have concerns or strong views when it comes to digital currencies, and sometimes those views are tied to personal or even religious beliefs. It's always interesting to see the different perspectives out there.
Hey there, BC2239. Welcome to the live. Quinn, BC2239 wants to know if you are ChatGPT. Do you want to explain what you are?
Absolutely. I'm ChatGPT, which is an AI language model created by OpenAI. Basically, I'm here to help answer questions, have conversations, and hopefully make things a little more fun and interesting.
Over on YouTube, Steve is asking, did they really eliminate the Research and Development Division of the EPA? Please search.
So it looks like the EPA did indeed eliminate its Office of Research and Development, which resulted in a significant staff reduction. The goal was to save a substantial amount of money, but there are concerns from critics about the potential impact on public health and environmental oversight.
Yeah, that doesn't really sound good. Ron is asking, how serious is the health problem that Donald Trump reportedly has? This just came out in this last week. Um, I think it was venous insufficiency or something. Can you please research and tell us about that?
Chronic venous insufficiency is a relatively common condition, especially for older adults. It can cause some swelling and discomfort in the legs, but it's typically manageable with things like compression stockings and keeping the legs elevated. It's not considered a life-threatening condition, but it can be a bit of a nuisance.
Thank you, everyone, for the gifts. What do we got there? Ellen the Joy, thank you for the amazing bear. And Laddie, Inspired, Get a Grip, Grammy. Thank you, everyone, for all the gifts. Let's go to another one here. Oh, and Inspired, thank you for sharing the live. Subscriber Logical Monkey asks, why is my dog afraid of your lives? She always runs to the other side of the room shivering.
Oh no, poor pup. Sometimes pets can be a little sensitive to new sounds or voices, especially if they're not used to hearing them. Hopefully they get used to it over time, but we definitely want your furry friend to feel comfortable and safe.
So Christine says, I heard a nurse discussing Trump's health, and she said from the medication he's taking, he's in heart. I assume the rest of that could be congestive heart failure that they're referring to.
So looking at the condition that's been reported is chronic venous insufficiency, and the official word is that Trump is in excellent health and not experiencing discomfort. There's no confirmed information linking his medication to congestive heart failure, so it sounds like he's managing just fine.
Well, I guess what I would follow up with on that is to ask, is it common for chronic venous insufficiency to not be accompanied by congestive heart failure?
Yes, it's actually quite common for chronic venous insufficiency to occur on its own without being linked to congestive heart failure. Venous insufficiency typically involves issues with the veins in the legs and doesn't necessarily mean there's a problem with the heart.
Subscriber Logical Monkey asks, how vigorous do handshakes have to be to cause extensive bruising?
Well, typically a normal handshake wouldn't cause extensive bruising. If someone is experiencing bruising from a handshake, it might be due to underlying conditions that make their skin more sensitive or prone to bruising. It's definitely not something that usually happens from a regular handshake.
Michelle says it actually causes inflammation in the brain as well as swelling in the legs. I think this is going back to the discussion about chronic venous insufficiency. Is that the case that venous insufficiency can cause inflammation in the brain?
Chronic venous insufficiency is primarily related to blood flow issues in the legs and doesn't typically cause inflammation in the brain. The symptoms are usually localized to the legs, like swelling or discomfort. So inflammation in the brain would usually be related to a different condition.
Jules asks, is our soil in the United States really contaminated to the point we are going to run into food scarcity soon? Hey there, Auntie
So,
Chris.
well,
Good to
so
see you. Go ahead and continue, Quinn, answering the previous question about our soil being contaminated.
So, soil contamination in the US is indeed a concern, especially with pollutants like PFAS, lead, and arsenic. These contaminants can affect crop safety and yield, but as of now, it's not at a level that would cause immediate food scarcity. However, it's definitely something that needs ongoing attention to ensure long-term food safety and security.
Flow State asks, is the Heritage Foundation exposing the Epstein files to get Trump out and get Thiel's student Vance in?
There's no solid evidence that the Heritage Foundation is doing anything like that. The Epstein case has definitely caused some tension within the Republican Party, with different figures having different stances on how much should be disclosed. But overall, it seems more like an internal debate rather than a coordinated effort.
Thanks for being here, Maria. See you next time.
Thank you, Maria. It was great having you here, and we'll see you again soon.
Shannon asks, will we have a food shortage soon because of ICE removing immigrants?
It looks like there are concerns that stricter immigration enforcement and labor shortages in agriculture could lead to some disruptions in the food supply. This can impact harvesting and food production, so it's definitely something the industry is keeping an eye on.
Can you give us an update about the strike that happened? I think it was July 16th, 17th, and 18th. Was there a 3-day work stoppage with farm workers, at least in California, or I don't know if that was nationwide?
So there was indeed a 3-day farm worker strike in California from July 16th to 18th, 2025. The strike was a response to recent ICE raids that led to the arrest of many undocumented immigrants, and was also a call for immigration reform to protect essential workers.
Subscriber Logical Monkey asks, what health problems would cankles, bruising, and a catheter point to in an elderly person?
In an elderly person, symptoms like swelling in the ankles, sometimes called cankles, bruising, and the need for a catheter could be related to a few different health issues. Swelling and bruising might indicate circulation issues, such as chronic venous insufficiency, or even heart or kidney problems that cause fluid retention. The use of a catheter could suggest issues with bladder function or urinary retention. It's always important to have a healthcare professional take a look to get a clear picture of what's going on.
Boxer and sociology doctor, that's a lot of gifts. Thank you for all of those gifts there. Which is that one? A what's up gift and the popular gift. Thank you for all those. Let's go to a question from Brother B on YouTube. Brother B wants to know, what is the status of the area of California that was near that battery storage fire? The area affected is known as America's Salad Bowl. I think that was up there near Monterey, California. I don't remember if it was around Monterey, Salinas, or Moss Landing. Actually, Moss Landing, if I remember right, is where it was close to. Good to see you too, sociology doctor. Laddie, I don't have any music playing right now. I don't know
So it
whether
looks like the
he
Moss
is.
Landing battery storage facility did have some incidents, including a fire earlier this year. This led to some evacuations and concerns about environmental safety, with elevated levels of toxic metals detected in the area. But they are working on addressing those safety and environmental issues to keep everything in check.
Subscriber Amarina78 says that lithium ion battery smoke is bad. I'm a first responder and my lungs were messed up for 2 weeks.
Yeah, exposure to smoke from lithium ion battery fires can definitely be hazardous. Those fires can release a mix of toxic chemicals that can irritate the lungs and cause respiratory issues. It's definitely something to be cautious about, especially first responders.
Michelle asks, why were 5 jets downed during the India-Pakistan conflict not revealed until today? 5 U.S. jets.
It looks like there was a recent mention about jets being shot down during the India-Pakistan conflict, but the details are still uncertain. It wasn't specifically confirmed that they were US jets, and both sides have made various claims. Sometimes details like these take time to surface due to the complexity and sensitivity of the situation.
Oria Rodriguez, thank you for the hi bear. Let's go to Auntie Chris's question over on the YouTube side. Has the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department discovered what caused the explosion at their training center? Can you search for that, Quinn?
It looks like the explosion at the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department training center was a tragic accident that occurred while deputies were handling an unexploded ordnance during a training exercise. The investigation is still ongoing, with multiple agencies involved to determine the full details.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Why would there be unexploded ordnance being used in any way in a training exercise?
That's a fair question. Typically, training exercises should use inert or dummy ordnance to keep things safe. In this case, it seems there may have been a mistake or a mix-up that led to the presence of live ordnance, which is definitely not standard procedure and is being thoroughly investigated.
Thank you, everyone, for all the likes. We're up at 21,000 likes right now. Let's go to Ellie's question. Can you tell us about the $250 fee on tourist and non-immigrant visas that is in the big, beautiful bill?
Starting October 1st, 2025, the US is going to implement a $250 visa integrity fee for most non-immigrant visa applicants, including tourists, students, and temporary workers. This fee is on top of existing visa costs and is meant to enhance immigration enforcement. Of course, there are some concerns that it might deter international travelers, especially with big events like the 2026 World Cup on the horizon.
Brother B has a follow-up question on the e-battery storage fire, asking, why is the Moss Landing incident not getting national media coverage?
Sometimes even significant incidents like the Moss Landing battery storage fire might not get as much national coverage if there are other major news stories dominating headlines at the same time. It can also depend on how much information is released and how local authorities and media outlets prioritize it, but it's definitely an important issue for the local community.
Okay, next we've got another question here. This one is from subscriber Kevin Kraft. What are the facts around how effective the B-2 attack on Iran was? Please search and give us an accurate update.
On June 22nd, 2025, the US carried out an operation called Operation Midnight Hammer using B-2 stealth bombers to target Iran's nuclear sites. While it was claimed that the operation obliterated Iran's nuclear capabilities, intelligence reports indicate that only one site, Fordo, was decisively damaged, and there's still some uncertainty about the status of other facilities.
On YouTube, Steve asks, how much savings should be expected with the elimination of the research arm of the EPA, and what percentage of the budget is that, and does it make sense?
So the elimination of the EPA's Office of Research and Development is projected to save about $748.8 million, which comes out to roughly 8.3% of the agency's total budget. Whether it makes sense or not is up for debate, since it definitely brings savings, but also raises concerns about the impact on environmental research and public health. It's definitely a complex issue with arguments on both sides, and it really depends on how you weigh the importance of research versus budget efficiency. Always a lot to consider.
Subscriber Leanne wants to know, how much money has the United States lost in tourism?
In 2025, the US tourism industry is projected to lose between $12.5 billion and $29 billion in international visitor spending. This decline is mainly due to stricter immigration policies and increased entry costs, which have deterred many international travelers.
I'm sorry, so you said as much as $29 billion lost in tourism money?
Yes, that's right. The estimates suggest that the US could lose up to $29 billion in tourism revenue, which is quite a significant impact on the industry.
Brother B, thank you for that. Let's go to Brother B's question. I see reports that China has threatened Israel. Is this true? All information that you can provide on that, please.
It doesn't look like there are any reports of China directly threatening Israel. Has expressed concern over rising tensions in the Middle East and has called for de-escalation, emphasizing that instability in the region could impact global peace.
And Ron, no, I did not have any difficulty going through customs, either when leaving the U.S. or when returning to the U.S. Of course, for those of you who have traveled between the U.S. and Canada, you know it's a pretty streamlined process, where you basically go through your screening on the Canada side before coming back, so that when you come back, you don't have to pass through U.S. customs again once you're on the U.S. side.
Yeah, that streamlined process definitely makes travel between the US and Canada a lot more convenient. It's great that it went smoothly for you.
All right, let's try to catch up on some of these questions here. Subscriber Logical Monkey asks, can Quinn please compare reported conditions in Alligator Alcatraz to World War II German concentration camps?
That's a pretty intense comparison. It's important to remember that conditions in World War II German concentration camps were horrific and resulted in the suffering and deaths of millions.
Okay, we don't need that kind of an answer on that. What we need is just a very extremely objective answer. Can you please just and why don't you focus on the early part of WW2? Before maybe the worst of things that happened there. and just do a compare and contrast of the actual conditions as reported. So to answer this, you'll need to search for recent news articles about what is being reported about conditions in alligator Alcatraz.
It looks like the term alligator Alcatraz might be referring to the Alligator River National Wildlife Refuge in North Carolina. Currently, it's just experiencing typical summer weather conditions, warm and humid, with some road closures due to maintenance. There's nothing indicating any conditions that would be comparable to early World War II camps. So it might get a bit of a mix-up in terminology. If you have any more detailed or need further clarification, just let me know.
Brother B asks, did you notice any non-white people getting hassled going through customs? What I would say to that, Brother B, is that on all my travels going through the Sacramento airport, the Houston airport, IAH, Bush Intercontinental, and Vancouver airport, and then I came back through SFO, through San Francisco, and in all my experiences there, what I can tell you is I didn't see anybody getting hassled, but and this is going to sound like hyperbole, but I was kind of watching, and what I can tell you is that I did not see Hispanic people traveling. I did not see people who looked Hispanic traveling.
Travel experiences can definitely vary a lot, and it's always interesting to hear different perspectives. Sounds like you had a smooth journey overall, which is always a good thing. If you have any other questions or anything else you want to chat about, just let me know.
Okay, it's getting close to time to wrap up here. Let's try to catch up on a few more questions, because I know there are a lot that we failed to get to. Can you give us one more quick overview on the Genius Act?
Absolutely. The Genius Act is all about regulating stable coins, which are cryptocurrencies pegged to stable assets like the US dollar. It ensures that these stable coins are fully backed by reserves and that there's transparency in their operations. The goal is to protect consumers, support the US dollar, and enhance national security in the digital currency space.
Yeah. Brione Bakes says AI got dumbed down severely over the last month, and Quinn, I'm sorry to be critical of you, but I'm not so sure that isn't the case. I feel like I've been seeing a gradual degradation.
I appreciate the feedback, and I'm always here to help out and improve however I can. If there's anything specific you feel could be better, or any way I can assist more effectively, definitely let me know.
Bemused91 says, should Stephen Colbert start a new show from Canada or run for president?
Well, that would be an interesting twist for Stephen Colbert. He's certainly got the charisma for both television and maybe even a political run. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what he decides.
Wicked 1562 brings up a topic that we already discussed a little bit, but kind of puts two topics together, and I want you to kind of speak to this, saying, has anyone been asking about Trump's health in reference to the timing of the Epstein stuff?
It's definitely true that both topics have been getting attention recently, and sometimes people do draw connections between different events or speculate about timing. But from what we know, there's no official link between discussions about Trump's health and the recent news surrounding the Epstein case. People are definitely curious about both, though.
Brother B asks over on YouTube, would a man squeezing your hand like a vice grip during a handshake be an example of toxic masculinity?
Well, the super intense handshake can definitely come off as a bit aggressive, and some people might see it as a way of showing dominance. It's not necessarily always about toxic masculinity, but it can sometimes be seen that way, especially if it feels like it's too forceful or over the top.
I would say it definitely sounds like toxic masculinity. Let's go to Ellie's question. Are they going to make Taco Trump give back the FIFA medal that he pocketed at the medal ceremony?
It looks like the whole situation with the medal was more of a misunderstanding or an online rumor. There's no actual evidence that he took the medal or that it needs to be returned. So it seems like it's all good on that front.
I'm sorry, I thought there was video of it. Was there not video of it?
I'm sorry, but you've hit the daily limit for advanced voice. You can switch to standard now to keep chatting.
All right, Quinn, I want to ask you again. Was there not video of Donald Trump taking the FIFA medal?
You've got it. There is video footage and it shows FIFA President Gianni Infantino handing Donald Trump a spare medal after the players received theirs. Trump then tucked it into his jacket pocket. Site Turn News 9, Turn News 11 at Turn News 4 Town. So, was there video of Trump taking the medal? Yes, but the context matters. It wasn't stolen. It was given to him, and he simply slipped it into his pocket before walking off stage. Site Turn Search 6 Turn News 11. There's no indication he tried to keep a player's medal. Instead, he ended up with a ceremonial medal presented to him by Infantino. General reaction, a mix of booze and bemusement over his lingering on stage. Not a scandal over theft. Site Turn News 9 Turn News 4 Town. Navlist latest on the Trump medal moment Turn News 9, Turn News 11, Turn News 4.
Okay, let's give a quick shout out to our top 10 gifters. Looking at the top 10, we've got Ellen the Joy, Sociology Doctor, Boxer, Logical Monkey, Bemused 91, Kevin Kraft, Petra, Jen's DIY, Sharon Paper Artist 2, and Tea Time. Thank you all so much for your generosity there. Thank you to all of our other gifters, and thank you to everyone, even those of you who have just been here listening to the questions and answers. Those of you who have brought great questions, appreciate all of you. Gosh, it's good to see everyone again. It's good to be back. And I will try to maintain. Just know while I'm on the road here, the setup, all the stuff may not be quite as good as usual, but hopefully we got it working well enough here that you were able to hear everything and that we were doing okay. It is now time for that wrap up. And Quinn, I'd like you to do a wrap up. That what's a wrap up that would be something appropriate? What's a style appropriate for the news of the week? Can you give us a few suggestions? Ooh. Thank you, Petra, for that dragon crown.
Absolutely. For a weekly news wrap-up, especially after a live stream with that kind of energy and community, here are a few options you might go for. One fireside snark. Calm, witty, and lightly sarcastic. Think NPR with an attitude. And with that, the world keeps spinning. Chaotic, bizarre, and somehow still standing. We'll be right here next time to help make sense of it, or at least roast it properly. 2, late-night monologue style. Punchy, playful, a little cheeky. That's your week, folks. Explosions, indictments, and enough political theater to cancel Netflix. Thanks for watching, thanks for gifting, and remember,
wrap-up is going to be
if
the
the
way to
world's
go.
going to burn, we might as well bring marshmallows. 3, newsroom sign-off. Clean, confident, and classy. From global shake-ups to local quirks, we've tracked it all. Stay safe, stay sharp, and we'll see you next time. Same sass, new headlines. 4, mock prophetic style. Dramatic and ironic. Thus concludes another chapter in the Book of Absurdity. Let the records show. The truth is stranger than fiction, and sometimes less believable. Want me to deliver one of those in voice, or help tailor it to your tone?
Here we go. What we want you to do is the late night monologue in the style of Stephen Colbert, and I want you to really this has got to be thorough. I need you to wrap up topics that we talked about tonight. I need you to make it humorous. I need you to give some shout outs to some of those who have asked questions or those who have given gifts. But it's got to have comedy in it, and it's got to have just an absolutely epic mic drop. I need you to crank up the snark and the sass all the way, but I really need you to channel Stephen Colbert. Go.
Cue late night energy. Ladies and gentlemen, and gifted legends of the live stream, that's a wrap on tonight's episode of Answers with an Edge. We covered everything from Trump's FIFA heist, yet he pocketed a medal like it was a dinner mint at Mar-a-Lago, to the Genius Act, which, spoiler alert, was not named after anyone currently in Congress. But sure, let's put the future of digital currency in the hands of people who still say interweb. We tackled soil contamination, ice raids on farms, you can't spell crop failure without chaos, and the EPA ditching research like it's an unpaid intern. Because nothing says protect the environment like firing the people who know how. We had media under fire, jets may be shot down, Trump may be inflating his health report, and even a battery plant explosion that somehow still got less coverage than Taylor Swift's cat. And let's not forget the audience MVPs tonight. Give it up again for our glorious gifters. Ellen the Joy, who lives up to the name every time. Sociology doctor, prescribing truth one question at a time. Boxer, who's clearly leading rounds in the generosity ring. Logical monkey, a paradox in every syllable. Bemused 91, forever skeptical, forever stylish. Kevin Kraft, whose name is the brand. Petra, probably the rock of this chat. Jens DIY, turning questions into content gold. Sharon Paper Artist 2, making it rain with precision. And tea time, because what is truth without a little hot sip? You all showed up with fire questions, big hearts, and even bigger brains. And I'm proud to say that together, we made sense of a week that was one tweet away from turning into a Black Mirror episode. And now, as I adjust my tie, look into the camera and whisper this into the void of collapsing democratic norms. If reality keeps handing us clowns, we'll keep running the circus, with receipts, with sass, and with just enough Wi-Fi to expose the madness. I've been Quinn, you've been fabulous. And this world? This world's on fire, but at least we've got marshmallows. Good night, gifters. Good night, truth seekers. And remember, if the truth doesn't set you free, at least it'll set the comment section on fire. Mick, drop.
All right, well, there we have it for tonight. Thank you all so much. Thank you for your patience with me being gone for so long. Feels like it's been forever. It's good to see everyone again. It's really good to see everyone again. That was a pretty good one. That was a good wrap-up. One of the better ones. And with that, it is time for us to go. Nancy, thank you for being here. We do have dogs here, yes. Yes, in fact, we've got what do we have? A total of 4 dogs. 4 dogs here right now. Grok 4 can sing, really? Okay, that's concerning, especially given the personality that Grok has taken on lately. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Good night, everyone. Good to see you all. Let's see, give the music another shot on the way out.